in Al's fashion and manner, we are celebrating a man's life in the fashion and manner that he wants to be celebrated. He touched so many lives, as is evident, and in such a gracious manner. There are some things that I think we can all take away from some of his philosophies, some which are not ready for prime time, which I will not give you the R-rated version. But he had some great Alisms. And one of the things that he always said, if you can't be good, be the best. He said, practice doesn't necessarily make perfect, but perfect practice makes perfect. And he lived what he taught. He was unbelievable in terms of his ability to teach and to reach people. I have seen him turn people's hearts around. I am so blessed, as I believe all of us in this room who have come within any part of him know that at times he had his own direction, but it was never with malice, ever. He loved people, he loved music, and lived for it. And fitting that he had to give up playing altogether in his last 2 weeks. And it was only 2 weeks until he had a heart attack. Because he could give up playing in clubs, that was not a big deal. He was getting tired of lugging the drums around. But when he had to quit teaching because his hands were too deformed, that was the end. And so I am blessed that he was able to leave the earth before anything went any further wrong than it did. And I am also blessed that I have known this man and that I had 40 years with him. That is a lifetime for many. So I want to thank you all for coming. It's fabulous. I think we can now get started with the other part of the service. So Al's folks were unable to be here tonight. They live in Arizona, and so they are not able to travel at this point. So they each wrote something that they would like for us to read, and then I'd like to have Al's brother Ron come up and say something if he would like to. Let's see. His father writes, remembering Al. Alan was always a proud and happy person. He was also thoughtful, caring, kind, helpful, sharing, and generous. He was always good at planning and could figure something out for himself, no matter what it was, and could go on and on. We will always remember Alan for his many achievements and for his many, many accomplishments and success. I am very proud of him. That's from his dad. And his mom, whoa. Okay. You'll have to bear with me on this one because I'm going to see if I can read it all, okay? She says, my name is Ruth Ann Knipe. I am Alan's mother. I love him very much, and I'm missing my Ollie boy very much. He was born on January 1st in 1952, our New Year's baby. He was a big baby, about 11 and a half pounds and 23 inches long. Came out with a thump, and with a thumb in his mouth. Really healthy. He was always a good eater, and he was a good cook and baker. He loved my cooking. On the farm in Michigan, about his 5th birthday, I asked him what kind of cake he wanted, special, and he said, no cake, cherry pie. So we put candles on the pie. He loved my peanut butter cookies, my peanut butter fudge. When he was little in Michigan and Colorado, and we went to church, he could tap his hands on the pew. his feet didn't touch the floor. And he'd swing them back and forth to the rhythm of the music. At our dinner table, he would drum with the silverware, glasses, whatever he could get a hold of. We knew he liked the drums, so finally had to get a drum teacher. Dave Jack was Juilliard School of Music trained, started him on practice pads, and then we got him a snare drum and stand. Then he was really happy. He did a good job on practicing his lessons. I would drive him to Dave and his teacher, and on the way, he'd say, "I hope he doesn't holler at me." And I'd say, "Don't worry, I'll tell him you've been practicing." Wasn't long, and he had a full set of drums. Finally, one day, told him he couldn't teach him anymore. And he could also be a drum teacher. Our whole family loved the drums. He traveled all over the world and the U.S. with his music, and he had his own special way he taught his students. He was the best teacher in Colorado. We think so, but yeah. We were all very proud of our Alan. He also loved his art. He loved to paint and draw. We got him a Norman Rockwell art course for $100 back then. That was a lot of money. And for a year, he got A's and did so good, they gave him another year free. Alan, by the way, I have to make an aside. There's a weird piece of art back there, but it really explains Al. It's called Birth of the Genes. And that's Al's art that he actually gave to George. I'm not sure where Lisa's letting him hang it, but that's another subject altogether. Al was also a great cook and good on the grill. My whole family in Michigan and Indiana are missing him very much, and that's from Ruth, Al's mom. So Ron, is there anything you'd like to say?
Hello, everybody. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm living in Phoenix. My folks are there. We've been there over 30 years. Al and Cindy come down to visit, and my folks, they love them very much. I was going to say that you people encompass a time capsule of my brother, because each of you have your own experiences with him. He's a wonderful brother.
That's okay.
I can't say more, but they know what he was like. Say that my little brother, if you haven't never met him and you know him, it's a good thing he's in Wyoming now in rehab, because he caused my Al and Cindy a little bit of grief, and our family grief. So where he's in Wyoming, you should all be very happy.
Well, the good news to that is that he's in Wyoming and in rehab. That's the good news, okay? I did talk to him. He also said to send his love, and that for him, he has some guilt, which I hope he works through, because he really has a great heart, and he would be here if he could.